Hello and welcome. This lesson we're going to set up the HTML interface in order to build our cookie building and controlling application. So first we need some inputs. So setting up just some HTML inputs. They can all be type text. Also give it a name so we can identify it using our JavaScript. So we can call this one, this is going to be representing the cookie name. And I guess I'll also set some default values in here. So test1. Creating a few other inputs. So we're going to need an input for the cookie value. So we've got a cookie name, and this is cookie value, and this can be test value. And I'm also going to change this one to test name so we could distinguish between the two. Then we also need another input, and this is for the expiry date of the cookie. So this can be a date input type. So using HTML5, so we get a date type. And this can just be known as cookie, and we're not setting any default values for that one. We also are going to need a few buttons, so let's add the buttons in. So they're giving it a button, and these are all just going to be button class 1, 2, 3. The first one is going to be to set a cookie, and this is going to provide the interaction within the application. The other one is get cookie, or get cookies. So return back all of the cookie values that are currently stored. There's also delete cookie. So it'll delete the cookie according to the name. So just deleting the one cookie. So this should be actually get cookie. And then we'll do one more to all cookies. So this one will show all of the available cookies that are available for the website. And lastly, let's create an output area. I'll give it a class of output. So we can provide some output and messaging for the user to interact with and see. So the next thing that we want to do is select our elements as objects. And we've got quite a few of them on the page. We want to add them in as objects. So going into our inspector, go to the console, and I want to add them as usable objects. Also, I'm going to add in a few line breaks, and we can do that with styling. So selecting the input, add a display property to it, and this display is going to be display block. So that will create new lines for those inputs. As well, I'm going to update the font size to make it a little bit bigger. So we can select it at 1.5 EM. Let's update the width of that element to be 75% so that they're all in line in the same width. So coming up next, we're going to set all of these elements as JavaScript objects so that we can utilize them within the upcoming lessons. So that is all still to come. And you can also style this as needed. I'm also going to style the buttons. So we do the font size for these as well and add a little bit of pattern. So now we've got some bigger buttons, bigger text, bigger input content, and we're ready to add JavaScript into the project. So that's coming up next.